Is it on? Is it on? I was thinking about Shrek there for a moment. Just checking to see if the microphone is on. And as per usual, every week Facebook will tell me I'm loading, I'm loading, I'm loading. Well, in fact, I'm actually live. Well, hello, 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 everybody. You're all very welcome to Wednesday's live call inside the Facebook group Map Your Future ABA, the place where we go from A to B, and then we decide we're going to go for a bigger and brighter A. This call will also be in my YouTube channel at Anthony Beale 2024 because I know some people have turned off from Facebook, and I want to make sure that I get this information out to as many people as I can. So the YouTube channel is up and running now, and it's in YouTube, and it's at Anthony Beale 2024. Anyways, you are all very welcome to today's call, whether you're in the group Map Your Future or whether you're checking it out on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. So as I said, uh, last week, over the coming weeks, I'm going to share real strategies that make an impact to your life when you use them, real things that you can do on a daily basis that will have a positive impact on your life. These are things and strategies that I personally use that help me to create positive habits in my life that have helped me to improve my results, my sense of well being, and have kicked me into action to achieve the goals, the things that I want to achieve in my life. These strategies have also helped me to weather the many storms that life seems to send us from time to time. Nobody gets through life without having to experience some form of trouble and challenge. Now, without having well-being in our lives, peace of mind, we're not really living. We're kind of just about surviving, a lot of us. But how do we create well-being in our lives? That's a question I have answered, and I will continue to answer in different ways throughout this series. The quick answer is to choose. To choose what you really want in your life. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have in your life? Then think more and more and more about what you want. Dwell on what you want and get emotionally involved with it, and stop dwelling on things that you don't want and starve those of any time and energy that you have been giving it. I always remember the story of from the old Indian, and he was talking about good and evil, and he referenced the black wolf and the white wolf, and his grandson asked Grandad, which wolf is stronger? And the granddad's simple answer was, whichever one you feed. So we want to starve the things that we don't want and feed the things that we do. When you dwell on what you want over and over and over, you get emotionally involved, as in you feel what it would be like to be, to do, and to have the life that you want. And you use the power of repetition. You do that over and over and over. And when you do that, you're going to start to take action towards what you want. And that starts a chain reaction where you create the life that you want to live. Life is not a dress rehearsal. It really isn't. We don't get out of here alive, okay? Here's the key thing: your thoughts, the thoughts that you think, create the feelings that you feel. Those feelings then move you into action. Those actions create reaction, and the reactions create your circumstances, your conditions, and your environment, also known as your results. It all starts with the thoughts that you are thinking and habitually thinking. This is cause and effect. And when you look after the causes, the effects take care of themselves. So when we start to think better about ourselves, this leads us to feeling better. We have a sense of wellness, a well being, so to speak. And this propels us to act and behave better. We kick into action, doing things towards what we want. And this leads us in the right direction, the direction we want to go in. When this happens, our results and our lives start to improve. Now, there's no shortage of ways to create better thoughts. Thinking better is always the first step to kickstart the process of creating a better life. And one way is to develop the habit of daily gratitude, which starts every single day on a positive note. When you are grateful for something, you can't feel bad. You cannot feel bad when you're genuinely being grateful for something. Another is to think on paper, to journal your thoughts out, which helps you to learn the triggers that we all have. Now, I spoke on both of these topics already in this series, and you can see them in the featured section in the group and on my YouTube channel. Another way is to learn to really forgive. My mentor, Bob Proctor, taught me to forgive is to let go of, completely abandon, to let it go. When you look in the dictionary, you're going to get a lot of different explanations. To forgive is to grant, pardon for, or remission. It is also to give up a claim on account of or to grant pardon to a person. It is to cease to feel resentment against, to forgive one's enemies. It is to pardon an offence of an offender. To cease resentment is a big one for me. I carried so much resentment for so many years, and it nearly killed me, to be honest. And when I finally learned how to let stuff go, I felt a deep sense of lightness that I never experienced before. We can so sour our lives when we hold on to resentment. And of course, when we have its sister emotion in our lives, guilt. Guilt and resentment are two poisons that we consume that darken our lives completely. They suck all the goodness out of life. Guilt is where you have done something to someone which you feel bad about. And resentment is where someone has done something to you which you also feel bad about. Resentment is like drinking a glass of poison and expecting the other person to get sick. It ain't going to happen. Both are poison to ourselves and both are in the past and neither can be changed. They can be let go of, but they can't be changed. The number one benefit of forgiveness is it's good for your heart. Literally. It's literally good for your heart. Research has shown that true forgiveness is associated with less stress and ultimately better mental health. We're all been hearing about mental health this and mental health that and mental well-being. Forgiveness is a great way to start healing and feeling much better mentally and in turn physically as well. When you forgive, you release yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. And I can tell you, being angry and having resentment, it is a burden. It's a major burden. It allows you to be more present in the here and now. It creates space. That's a key thing. It creates some space for contentment and peace of mind. Consider forgiveness as a gift that you give to yourself, a route for healing and freedom. It can also be considered a mental house cleaning. How often do we clean our houses? We need to clean our minds sometimes as well to get rid of all that clutter to make space for the new to come in. How many things do we hold on to for years and years that when we finally let go of, we have a sense of lightness? We all know of things, every single, and as I'm going through this with you, think of things that's coming up for you and jot them down. They're coming up for you for a reason. They're resonating with you for a reason. You're being triggered for a reason. Write it down so you can put some time into this later on. Now, we all know of things that we can't seem to let go of. But when we finally learn that we are actually able to, it creates so much space. It really does for a brighter present, a brighter future. But sadly, some people don't believe and they will never believe that they're actually able to forgive. And that makes me sad. And it's okay. It's okay too, because everybody has free will. What I can tell you though is when you do forgive and really forgive, you feel better yourself. Studies and research tell us forgiveness can lead to healthier relationships. How many of us hold grudges and secret grudges towards the most important people in our lives? Our partners, our family, our parents, maybe even our children, especially if they screw up or perceive to screw up in public, and even our friends. They did something or they didn't do something that we frown upon. Forgiveness helps you to be more honest with yourself. The truth can hurt, but it can also set you free. In fact, it's the only thing that's going to set us free. It helps with anxiety, stress, and hostility. The more you forgive, the less angry you are with the world, the less you lose your temper, which in and of itself helps with our own stress levels. That is something that I've had to work on for a considerable amount of period of time. I used to lose my temper all the time. No, I still lose my temper. I still lose the rag from time to time. I'm human, but I'm losing it a lot less. And when I do lose it, I respond and drop whatever has caused me, which is myself always, by the way, has caused me to lose my cool. And I gain back my sense of composure. When we can actually let things go, it can lower our blood pressure and promote a stronger immune system. And it can improve our heart health. It helps with our own self esteem. How you view yourself is so, so important. It's so important that we have a lighter view of ourselves. We need to forgive ourselves as much as we forgive others. We make mistakes. Absolutely everybody does. Hurt people hurt people, and healed people help people. We all could do with a bit more healing, I believe. When we can shift our perspective, our point of view from judgment to seeking to understand, so much of what we have wanted to let go of, we can simply dissolve and dissipate. When you start a journey of gratitude and journaling and forgiveness, you're going to start to notice some of the triggers you have that you've had possibly since you were a young child. And I'm human. I've triggers. Everybody has triggers. Every human being has triggers. We can overreact in situations. Then we feel guilty about it afterwards. But so does everybody else. Okay? We can use this information to work on replacing these negative triggers in our lives. And we all have them. And the more of them we replace, the better our quality of life becomes. Learn to forgive others and yourself. The more you can do this, the more lighter and brighter you're going to feel. To forgive is to completely abandon, to let go of. You forgive them for you. You forgive them for yourself. When you do this and you become more, you become more compassionate and empathetic for yourself and for others. Because the hardest person usually on you is you. But when you can forgive others, you will be able to forgive yourself and you will be lighter towards yourself and more empathetic. You can use an affirmation. It's an auto suggestion, and we're always auto suggesting things to ourselves anyway. There's thoughts going on the whole time. I forgive myself and I forgive others. I forgive myself and I forgive others. And it's powerful to do that. As part of my daily activity, I put some time into forgiving. Who do I want to forgive? What do I need to let go of today? Now I don't have something every day, but it's amazing when I started to do this how many things I was carrying and how many things I've needed to let go of. Now I probably haven't let go of everything, but I've let go of a huge amount of stuff that was bothering me and bothering me for a long time. And I can tell you, it was doing absolutely nothing for me. All it was doing was making me feel bad about myself. Here's the thing that we must understand: people do not go on purpose, go out of their way to piss you off. Yeah, I know that that's how it can feel sometimes to us, to ourselves. Something does somebody, and you say, "You're doing that just to pee me off." They're not. Okay? They do something, and then we are triggered. People in the main are doing the best that they can with the knowledge and awareness that they have. The less judgmental we are, and the more willing we are to look at things from different points of view, the nicer our lives will be, the more flexible we become. To forgive, we have to first be honest and truthful to ourselves. Really analyze some of the things that were done to us and that we have done in the past. We have given ourselves horrible hassle, dog's abuse, for things that can be dropped when we forgive ourselves and others. You need to know Human beings do the best that they can with the knowledge and the awareness that they have. This includes all the people in our past and ourselves. We did the best we could at the time with the knowledge and awareness that we had. We know more now. Of course we do. And it's okay to look at things with a new perspective. My mentor always said the only thing we need to overcome is ignorance, is our own ignorance. And ignorance is simply not knowing. It's not rudeness, which a lot of people mistake the word as ignorance for rudeness. No, ignorance is a lack of knowledge, simply not knowing. Now, we know better now, so we can do better now. We're not the same person that we were when we made the mistake. When we made our mistake, there's a very strong possibility that we didn't know any better at the time, and neither do others when they make mistakes. We were ignorant, and we can all be ignorant, and we all are ignorant of a great many things. There's a great many things that I simply don't know how to do, and probably will never know how to do. We may not have known at the time that all of our actions have reactions. Every action has a reaction. Every action has a consequence. There is a consequence to every action we take. Some will be good and some will be less than good. But this is how we learn. But we need to know that they were mistakes. They were lessons for us to learn, not life sentences. And we must ask, would we ever do whatever the mistake was again? Would we do it again? If the answer is no, we have learned from our mistake and we've gotten what we've needed to get from that lesson. We don't need to carry the guilt around for the rest of our lives. We can let it go and we can do the same for others. We can forgive others and we can forgive ourselves. To forgive is to let go, completely abandon. We have all heard the Lord's Prayer. And I hadn't thought of this for a long time prior to preparing for today's conversation. But let me share it with you as I was compelled to review it myself, and I thought it might be of benefit to some of you that will be listening on the call. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The part that really stuck out for me was, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. We all screw up sometimes, every single one of us does. And given the chance again, we would do things very differently, but we can't get the chance again. We can't change the past. Now, we can learn the lesson from the past and we can refuse to make those mistakes again. We need to let go of our mistakes and the mistakes others make towards us. Now, I'm not saying go back for seconds here, right? I'm saying let it go and move forward with a lighter heart. Forgiveness has helped me a great deal over the last couple of years. What I have found, the more I forgive, the better I feel. The more I understand myself, the more I understand others. And by working with this over a period of time, it becomes easier to reevaluate the things that I was carrying in my mind, the things that I no longer want to carry. Okay? Make no mistake, you are carrying some things. We all are. You could be carrying them for years, decades, and for some, their entire life since they were very young. Ask yourself, and do ask this today, do you want to keep carrying them? Is carrying them helping you in any way at all? Would or could it serve you better to let them go, completely abandon them? Do you really understand that you forgive for you? That's who you forgive for. Reevaluate. When you learn to reevaluate things, so many things you've carried for far too long can simply dissolve and fall away. Forgiveness is part of my daily work because as I continue to grow, I continue to make mistakes. And I'm going to make more of them. And I need to forgive myself and others if I want to get to my next level. Because if I keep carrying things, I cannot ascend to my next level. If you have any questions about what I've shared today, you can comment below, you can ask below, or you can send me an email to abeal@anthonybeal.ie. If I can help you in any way, I will. Next week, I'm going to talk about beliefs. You see, the first three topics, gratitude, journaling, and forgiveness, are all to help us become aware of triggers and to start the process of releasing things and healing from our past. Triggers are things we habitually react to that stem from our beliefs, and many of those beliefs we are actually unaware of because they happen when we're so young and they just keep on perpetuating and perpetuating. When we become aware of those beliefs, we can reevaluate them. And from reevaluation, we can decide what we want to do with those beliefs. Do we want to keep them or do we want to let them go? Today, ask yourself the questions I shared today and don't get caught up in the bullshit that we tell ourselves we don't have the time. If you work 40 hours per week, that means you have 72 other waking hours when you're not working. We can always find the time when things are important to us, and working on yourself is possibly the most important work you will ever do. Remember, when it comes to time, we can invest it, spend it, or waste it. And holding on to guilt and resentment is a big waste of time and energy. It is in the past, it can't be changed. It can be learned from and it can be let go of, but it cannot be changed and it cannot be relived. If you like what I'm sharing, I want to grow our group here and I want to get this information out to as many people as I can because I know some people are being super hard on themselves. And when they learn how to journal, how to be grateful, how to forgive, things will change in their lives. But if you like what I'm sharing, feel free to invite people to our group that you feel could benefit from the material and the information. And if you're catching this on YouTube, feel free to share this with anybody you feel you could benefit. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll be back here again next week at 1 o'clock. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via Facebook and direct message me, LinkedIn, Instagram, send me an email. All of the above. Send me a homing pigeon if you want. But if I can help anybody, I will. Have a great week, everybody. God bless you all. Bye for now.